Right, let's kick off this podcast.
Yay!
Woo-woo. So, welcome back to the Roaring Girls podcast. This week we are talking about Black Friday. Black Friday was yesterday at the time of recording. So Thanksgiving was Thursday, which meant Black Friday was yesterday. And Black Friday started as an American thing and now it's everywhere, all consuming. But we'll get more into that in just a minute. This week I am joined by the lovely Jess Morley.
Hiya.
I was going to say, it's a podcast, so I do need to speak.
You say hello for the people that aren't watching live, for the people that listen to it later.
Hello.
Shall we start that bit
I'm the
again?
whole one. They'll know who I am. I'm the whole one.
Oh my Christ. The ever radiant Sarah Penny.
Hello, how's it going? I've never said that. I'm so sorry.
I'm just glad that you spoke. 10 out of 10. Proud of you. And the ever gorgeous Lizzie Perry.
Hello, I was wondering what I was going to get then. Ever
I was really tempted to be like, and Lizzie's here too.
Oh. And we've got Rachel. She's just here.
She exists.
And the evergreen Rachel.
Slight tangent. Evergreen always just reminds me of the Gareth Gates song now.
Yeah, that was.
Will Young.
I'm gonna take this night.
Oh yeah, it was Will Young. Gareth Gates.
The other one.
Oh.
Gareth Gates from Bradford, therefore I just know Gareth Gates.
Yeah.
He's the only one who exists.
Wow.
You heard.
Anyway,
Sometimes when I'm bored, I'll watch his Pop Idol audition. Anyway, was it Pop
guys,
Idol?
this has gone off the rails quicker than
Doesn't
normal.
matter. Doesn't matter.
And that is saying something for us.
I know.
That's really saying something. So we are talking about Black Friday and general kind of consumerism, which has been it's an interesting one because I think especially with lockdown and things like that, people tend to have fallen into kind of two camps. They've either fallen into I'm not going out and doing anything, so I'm going to start buying unnecessary things, and buying loads of clothes despite not being able to go out, ordering loads of takeaways because you can't go out for a meal, ordering things to the house because you're like, well, I'm in the house, I might as well have nice things. And then the other half are people whose work has been so affected by it, they can't afford to do that, and they are barely making ends meet. So you've kind of got this weird, like, half and half at the moment where you've got people who are kind of consumerism's booming, like people are buying loads and loads of things. Like the amount of people that I've known who've spent like crazy amounts during lockdown on things. Like during lockdown 1, somebody I knew bought like a full-on installed hot tub.
Nice.
I mean, you might as well.
Yeah, that's a great lockdown
It's
purchase.
just like bam, like $6,000 hot tub, let's go.
I do think when you say that, like, it's good to be Amazon or ASOS. It's bad to be like a small shop that you know has either not done online before or it's been a minimal part of it and having to shift to that.
Yeah.
And I can think that's obviously, I'm not saying anything that we don't know, but I think that's one of the difficulties is that I think a lot of people are increasing the amount of like online shopping they do, especially with like Christmas as well. It's so convenient, it's so easy, and yet everything is so dominated now by Amazon, and it's just pricing people out of being able to sell their own stuff. It's a real shame.
Yeah, 100%. And you know, there was kind of like, there's always like memes on the internet of like how Amazon like 20 years ago was like, we're a cute little online bookshop, and now it's like, hello Prime citizen, please return to your Prime home for your Prime meal. Like, it's like you can order anything and everything, and so much of it is next day delivery. So like a lot of people have got Prime during lockdown because they can be like, actually I can't go to the shops and buy certain things, or certain shops aren't open, but I can click, and it's going to turn up at my house tomorrow.
And that's the thing as well, like in Hull, we're going to be getting same day delivery soon, because they're building a warehouse on the outskirts of Hull. So soon you'll be able to literally place an order on Amazon in the morning, and bam, by the time you're eating your omelette for lunch, you're like, oh, pliers. Like, you know,
Other lunches are available.
Yeah, other products are available.
But the thing with Amazon, I mean, I think it's I think there are several things that are fairly well documented that we can criticize them about, like the treatment of their workers, the amount of tax they pay. Hint, it's not very much. But also, like, I think what's not talked about as much is the idea that if you want to sell products online, a good place to do it is the Amazon store. And if you put something on and it sells well, they will put the same product on at a lower price. Yeah. Because they can, and they routinely price people out of selling things on their own system, because if you're selling on Amazon, it's going to be better for you to be able to sell it. But if but then they're, that suddenly swiftly becomes not an option for you.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
That's the thing. I could do like a whole hour spiel on Amazon because I used to work there. And so I worked there for 4 months, I think. And it was like a whole thing. But yeah, definitely like knocking out other businesses out of the park. I mean, again, the whole tax thing, like we could spend the entire hour talking about that as well. But I think in a positive way, it's been really nice seeing a lot of local businesses in Hull moving to online, like Plant and Paint, for instance, who are fab. They're down Humber Street. They do amazing stuff. And like, check them out if you haven't already. And why wouldn't you have? They're amazing. But I was like, I need some nice plants for my bathroom. And I would rather support a local business than get them from a corporate giant. And Plant and Paint was the one. And they only recently sort of opened their online store, and Babes in the Wool on Newland Ave have moved online, and they like wool and yarn deliveries and pattern deliveries. Like, so I think in that way, it's been really nice to see local businesses make that shift. But unfortunately, they've been given like no resources to do that. So it's sort of been all off their own back, which is the shit side of it.
Well, it's things as well, like Revival Coffee and Donuts, for example, who were literally due to open like week 1 or 2 of lockdown, open a brand new shop, and then they kind of went, oh my god, what am I doing? Like we can't open, and they went, right, we're just gonna deliver donuts, and they sold like and again it comes down to this lockdown mentality of like, I'm not going out, I'm not doing anything, like I can spend £17 on 6 donuts because what else am I doing? Like I pay that for a night in the pub.
But also I think there's a thing where actually £17 on those donuts is a fair price because you're paying someone a fair wage to run that business and for those things. And I think we get so used to things being so cheap, and it's because they're made in mass production, which is obviously cheaper, but also because people are, and I don't know so much with baked goods, but like a lot of products, it comes down to sort of people being underpaid and corners being cut in places. And I think we know that as consumers. I think very few people can claim ignorance of, why is this so much cheaper? You know why it's so much cheaper. Like, how many times does there have to be like a big expose on like Nike or like Nestle before you go, oh yeah, I know exactly what this is. Like, but you buy it anyway. Like you don't think about it because the price is good.
I think it makes a difference as well if you know. For me personally, I will happily pay more if I know who the money's going to. So if it is a small business in Hull, especially one like Revival, for example, I bought donuts from them every week during lockdown. Until they got so popular that I had to fight people for them. But it's a lot of money. But I know I'd seen their faces, like I knew who they were, and I knew it was a business that were trying to get going. And like you say, Rachel, were trying to open their doors. I would much rather pay more money for them than Krispy Kreme, for example. And it makes me feel better about my spending and my shopping habits. That's how I kind of justify being able to buy something, is I go, well, I'm supporting a local business and I feel better about that, and my conscience feels a lot cleaner than if I would go into a big chain.
I'm exactly the same. Like, I would rather spend a bit more on earrings, on clothes, on whatever, and actually, like, for example, Tessie's have gone online, like, I know they were online before, but they've done even more.
Amped it up.
And they were doing like Friday, like they'll drive around to your house and drop off what you want and all this kind of the other. I'd much rather spend the money places that you go, like, you know, the people, whenever you go in there, it's the same faces behind the till. Like, you have a connection, and it's like, for me, it's so much better to do, like, morally, than just kind of like throw money at big corporations which don't pay tax and find those tax loopholes, which, don't get me wrong, provide an awful lot of jobs, but my God, the tax that they're avoiding is shocking.
But also, Rachel, and I don't say this as a criticism to you, because I'm exactly the same. But you say that, but you also have bought things from Amazon during lockdown. You have bought things from ASOS and things, and I think and I agree with you in principle. I am 100% on the smaller businesses where there's clarity and like transparency on where the money goes, and that are paying their workers a fair wage, and that are giving people good conditions, etc. And I think most people are in the same boat. Like, the survey after survey is done where people are asked, you know, sort of man in the street type research, would you prefer, you know, to shop from a big conglomerate, or would you prefer to shop from a sort of, you know, independent retailer, from someone that's, you know, ethically sourcing products, smaller impact on the environment, all those things. And overwhelmingly people say yes, but overwhelmingly people spend their money in the big corporations. And so I think there's a cultural shift that I think needs to happen within all of us. I'm absolutely guilty of it, where you know, as Jess said, like, you do it and you feel better about yourself. It's like, oh, I supported this company today, which is great. But then it doesn't help if the next day you're then ordering something from Amazon. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really difficult because it's so cheap. And if you've got stuff to buy.
For me, it's not even the cheap part of Amazon. It's being able to find things easily.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
In the quantities that I need it as well. So, for example, like, I've started making earrings and I'm selling them and stuff like that. To be able to...
This is not an advert, but where can we find those earrings? On Instagram at Made by Raps.
But to be able to buy those things, like, those shops were closed during lockdown, so I couldn't get them. You know, they're not something that you can get from a local shop, because there isn't a local shop that provides that. And so there's things on Amazon that you go, oh my God, actually, this is what I need. And it goes, you can buy this right now, which is so easy and so handy. Do you know what I mean?
And you can get it either the next day, or if not the next day, within a few days. It's ridiculous how smooth things are. And then you almost get to this place where you go, oh, it's gonna get here in 3 days. That's too long. I'll find it somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Like, it suddenly puts a framework on our stuff, and I think on our expectations of where we get these things. And I think this is one of those things, like you were saying at the start, Rachel, about people buying stuff almost every week. And I think a lot of people will say it's because of price and convenience that, you know, they will buy. I know people that have had like ASOS deliveries every week, every other week, and they're like, oh well, it's you know, and yes, some of it is, you know, you need something, you buy a couple of things because you're online, you try them on, you return things. I totally get that. But also I think, yes, you can only afford to shop there, or yes, it's only convenient to shop there if you're buying that much stuff. And I think a lot of people have gotten used to the idea that you can go and buy new clothes every weekend, which isn't sustainable. And of course you can't afford to spend money on places that are fairly paying garment workers, or that are working in a carbon neutral way. Of course you can't, because you're buying so much. And I don't know how you balance that shift in people's attitudes, because I totally understand why you'd want to do it. Totally get it.
I think it's almost like, you know, with like veganism, for instance, or people trying to cut down on meat consumption, and it's about going like, okay, well, I'm going to try and have like 1 or 2 meat-free days a week, and I'm just gonna do that for now. I'm going to cut down on my own consumption in that way, and then try and increase it, or try to eat it more sustainably, or like whatever that goal and that shift is. And I think it's about going like, do you know what, once a week or once a month, I'm going to buy something from an independent business, a local business. Like, for instance, today I had to go to the post office. I was going down Newland, and on the way back up Newland Avenue, I was like, I'm going to pop into the butcher's, because I was going to go to Sainsbury's on my way home. And I was like, nah, I'll get my meat from the butcher. And it was a bit more expensive, but I tell you what, that's going to be high quality. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I've supported a local business. So like, for me, I'm like, great, not only is it quality, but it's also supporting local people. And I think if you can try to make that thing for yourself of going, yeah, do you know, once a week, once a month, whatever it is, or every time I need this item, I'm going to try and source it as local as I can.
And I think it's also about putting pressure on the companies to do better, because if everyone, you know, went vegan, only bought from independent retailers or what have you, maybe it would make changes, but it wouldn't make changes as fast as if Amazon paid their tax, or if there were regulations about the way you treat warehouse workers or garment makers, or, you know, if big companies were working, like properly working towards being greener, rather than just sort of, you know, like greenwashing the company and being like, oh, look how good we are, and then burning fossil fuels in the back room, which is how I imagine it works, right?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Yeah. It's an interesting one as well, because like, again, like, we're so used to kind of cheap, fast production, especially when it comes to clothes.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, people love Primark for that reason, because when you are on a low income, being able to get a full outfit for 20 quid makes you feel good. Like, you go, oh, this is great.
Especially if you've got kids who are growing and who need new clothes every, you know, who need new clothes every so often, to be able to give them choices and to give them nice things, and to, you know, of course you go to the place where you can get 3 outfits instead of 1. Of course you do.
Yeah. And also, if you're fat, like if you're plus size, if you're somebody who's into fashion, you're interested in really cool clothes or keeping up with trends, you know, clothes, obviously, when they're handmade, cost a lot of money, and rightfully so, because a lot of labor goes into them, and the materials, the time, the design, and you know, a lot of money goes into making those sorts of things. But if you're looking for your day-to-day sort of wardrobe, you're more inclined to spend £10 on a jumper than you are to spend 70. You know, it is really difficult. And I've tried to start making a shift towards buying some more sustainable, less fast fashion pieces for my wardrobe over time. So every few months I'll save up and go, right, I'm going to buy this. Like, it took me years and years and years to buy a pair of Doc Martens, and I've wanted a pair since I was a kid. Like, since I was a child in the playground, I wanted a pair. And I bought my first pair actually with our producer Shauna when we were performing in York, I think, or we'd gone to York for a meeting or something. Yep. And Shauna, we went, let's go to the outlet, and actually it was Black Friday.
Story ties in so well.
So it would have been like a year ago today. Yeah. You know what I mean? A year ago. And I bought a pair of Doc Martens for the first time, and they were like 50% off. So it was like real cheap for what they were. And I thought, no, do you know what? I'm going to buy them, because these are going to last me 10 years. Yeah. Whereas, you know, I used to always buy my shoes from Primark, New Look, and like before the year's out, they're knackered and I need to throw them out. But it's about trying to justify to yourself that big purchase is worth it, because it's going to last longer in the long run.
Well, this is the thing. It's like a classic kind of conundrum where, you know, if you're poor, you've got 20 quid in your bank account and you can get poorly made boots for a tenner, or you can get really high quality boots for £50. You don't have the £50 to spend. So you buy the £10 ones, but in a year you need to spend another £10. And over the course of 10 years, you could have spent £50 on one really decent pair of boots, or £100 on 10 rubbish pairs. Do you know what I mean? So it's it does come down to that kind of like, actually, if you need something now, you get the cheapest version. And
I think, sorry.
No, go on, it's fine.
I was just going to say, and I apologize for interrupting, I think that's why it needs to be, I think there's a lot of shaming people for making choices, whereas actually I think we need to focus on making things really transparent so people can consciously make those choices, rather than companies pretending to be really, you know, putting a good branding on it and actually being dickheads behind the scenes. But so I think we need to encourage people to be able to make those choices, and then to make those things easier, you know, to make those changes so that that you can go, oh, sometimes I am going to buy the £10 pair of boots, but I'm also going to be able to, you know, to make this choice with my spending, or actually I can now shop in this place, which yes is cheap, but hey, they now pay their tax properly, or whatever it is, you know. I think there was that thing, did anyone see the Black Friday, was it Pretty Little Thing, Black Friday sale? We're selling clothes for 7p. You could get a coat for 7p, or like leggings for 5p. And like it's cheaply made clothing. It was never like hundreds of pounds in the first place. It's like cheap, like polyester clothing. But like how? And I appreciate that the stuff that normally retails at like 50 quid that they're selling for 5p, they're not making a profit on, they're getting rid of stock. But still, to have things that are priced so low.
Yeah.
They had 99% off on some items. I remember, because I was looking at something and I saw it, and it's beggars belief, isn't it? Really is. And I think that's the thing with a lot of these sort of fast fashion places, in particular, like Boohoo has been in the headlines a lot through lockdown for the treatment of their workers, and workers going on strike and not having the right PPE to do their jobs. And, you know, you often find that behind these massive, like, corporations are arseholes. And that's the best way I could put it. It's
also, like, the problem is that it's the big corporations that are able to offer it so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if an independent business went, we're doing 99% off, like, there is literally no point in them doing that. Like,
it's because
losing money.
It's, as you say, they can afford to take that loss because it clears their stock rooms, and it means that, oh, you buy the 7p coat, but you're also buying a £20 something else, you know. And you can afford to do that when you've got those resources. We talked a lot about the Roaring Girls as a company and as a business, and how we can work in a way that is ethical and work in a way that is kind. As simple as that. And it was really hard. We had to go and do some proper research into what companies are working in ways which we think are really positive. And initially we all sort of went, and we couldn't really think of any. And after some research, we have found like lots of companies that are doing things that are really positive and things that we're really keen on. But the initial question was really difficult. And I know a lot of us initially thought of like a few fashion companies that were really transparent with how they pay garment workers. But then also we talked about like companies that engage in activism in a real way, like Ben and Jerry's, or that treat their employees well, like Timpson's, like really like a real vast like range of companies doing things that I think we should be celebrating a lot more than we do. And has actually changed the way I think I consume things. I definitely view things differently now, having looked at it from this side of going, well, I want my business to be run in a way that is compassionate.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and find businesses that operate in that way as well.
Yeah. What about Jess? Are there any businesses that you can think of, like local or otherwise, that you're like, yes, I love that brand. Like, I love what they're about and what they do.
Local businesses, yes, 100%. My joint number one, I'm actually sporting tonight.
Yes.
Cheeky plug. Smiling and Waving are absolutely fantastic. At the minute, I think they're donating 50% of their profit to help other organisations, local organisations. Initially, they were selling all this sort of stuff like hoodies, t-shirts, mugs, hats, which I've got one of everything, because they're just fantastic. They're a local family. I think they're famous in Hull. Everyone will know who they are. They started selling their stuff to raise money so that they could get some more equipment for their son Alistair. And now that they reached that target, they're now selling more stuff so they can raise money for other people. So they are like my number one. They're absolutely gorgeous, fantastic. And the other one is Friends on Every Street, who's behind the Peter Levy stuff, the Look North Mate, and every kind of Hull pun, beautiful, gorgeous stuff. They're my two absolute top. And again, Friends on Every Street, I think during first lockdown, he donated loads of money that he made to NHS workers and key workers and things like that. So I absolutely adore them. Both of them I will shout about from the rooftops. Absolutely, 100%. I think in terms of other local businesses, it tends to be a lot of mates and a lot of people who have lost jobs or lost work during lockdown and who've gone, I've got some skills, or I've got a bit of a talent, so I'm going to try and make some stuff and just to pay the bills. And I think absolutely, like if I can support that in any kind of way, of course I'm going to do that. So there's like Yorkshire printing company. I am, yeah. And literally indie businesses have thrown up on me tonight. These are Rachel's earrings, which are absolutely gorgeous. And there's, Yorkshire Printing Company, there's Cocoa Beauty, there's so many places in Hull. And what I love about Hull is, Rach, I know you're sort of getting involved in now with your business, is like the shop local, shop Hull, all these hashtags where there seems to be a really vibrant community in this city of independence, whether it's food, like with Patty Shack, whether it's drinks with Atom Beer selling all their stuff. Like there's this huge thing. Trinity Market is online now, and and they're doing Christmas markets online, and I can't remember the good things for market, is it, that's usually on in Humber Street?
Yeah.
All of that is on Instagram now, and so much arcade, down the arcade, all of those shops on there, they're big shouting out about them. Two Gingers Coffee and Marla's and Milkshake, all these places are so supportive of each other. No one's ever trying to outdo each other. No one's trying to put anyone else out of business. They build each other up, and I've never known anything like it. And it makes me so proud that this community, this city is coming together to be like, shouting at raise money for people and shouting about each other and lifting each other. Any business that does that, I'm going to spend my money with you, because it's so brilliant, and they're so transparent. And often they will put posts up saying like, lockdown's hit us really hard, like we're really struggling, if you can support us, please share our page or something like that. And the way the city has done that and really shouted loud about their local businesses has just been absolutely gorgeous. So yeah.
Jess, proud of Hull.
I do think
never.
That's so new.
I do think, and Jess is definitely, as someone who's grown up here, like definitely part of this. But I think Hull is not unique in being a city that like loves itself and shouts about itself and is proud of itself. But like there is definitely a vibe in Hull of well, of course we're going to do it for ourselves, because like no one else is going to do it for us. We're like, there's like a resilience and like a fuck you, we're the best, which I do love.
Yeah,
it's the thing. It's got a huge DIY ethic in Hull. Like
massive.
They absolutely are like, do you know what? Like, you're not gonna get a Wagamama's in Hull, so here's the tiny Vietnamese like restaurant that you can go to.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna get the big brands and stuff like that. So here's all these other shops, like Humber Street in particular, like those
Trinity Market.
They all support, all those sellers support each other so much.
Yeah.
To the point where like they're constantly on each other's feeds, they're on each other's Instagrams. Like they are so just willing to be there and be a support, which is incredible.
I just wanted to show this. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't think you can, but this was something that Friends on Every Street did, which was Hey Huns, and it stands for Hull and East Yorkshire's happy, upbeat and naturally supporting. And I was like, that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, everyone's been hit hard by lockdown. Businesses are struggling, but everyone's being positive. Everyone's like shouting from the rooftops about each other. Just really lovely. So I'll happily spend money that I probably don't have at places like that.
Definitely. Have any of you ever shopped in Black Friday sales?
I've done it this year accidentally. I was really consciously trying, because this is the thing. Black Friday used to be one day, right?
Yeah.
And this is a shift that's been positive in my eyes this year, is that there haven't been the physical Black Friday fights in shops that tend to happen, because that is disgusting. Every time I see that, it makes me so angry when people are fighting over TVs and stuff, and it's just like awful. So at least this year that's kind of been somewhat removed. But yeah, Black Friday now is like Black Month, right? Because I started doing my Christmas shopping early this year because I was like, I'm just going to try and get it out the way before Black Friday sales, so I feel a bit better about my shopping. And I'd get to the checkout and be like, oh, fantastic, it's in a sale, great. And then you go back to the homepage and be like, oh, it's a Black Friday sale. Which in some ways is great, because I'm thinking, you know, brilliant. It's Christmas shopping's been a bit cheaper this year, which is always really helpful. But then I'm also like, I was trying really hard not to participate in that. So I have tried.
I feel like you shouldn't kick yourself for participating in a sale, Jess.
I know.
It's not like they take the profits out of someone's hands.
No, that's very true. That's very true.
You don't just go in, like, punch a worker in the face and be like, Jess Morley spent £50, it should have been 80. You're giving me the £30.
This is 50% off, so if they bought it yesterday, we'd have paid you, but today you get kicked in the shins.
But yeah, so this year has been accidental. But
do that.
Yeah, I'm sure. In previous years, I've definitely waited. Like, you know, when I've been skint around Christmas, I've definitely thought, oh, I really want to get this present for my mum. I'm going to wait until the Black Friday sale because I can't afford it full price. Of course, because Christmas is always tough financially, isn't it? And if you can't get something cheaper, you know, you always kick yourself if you see a week later what you've spent full price on is then half price. You think, oh, you sneaky bastards. But so yeah, I have bought stuff in Black Friday.
I also think a lot of stuff in Black Friday sales is stuff that they've had on sale at like a inflated price previously. Yeah, and again, it's the same with Pretty Young Thing. It's that thing of like they can afford to cut the price by 20% because they were profiting by so much. Like had hiked up the price so much, or they paid so little for it and sold it so high. So like, you know, I don't know how guilty you should necessarily feel. I mean, please don't like go into places and punch people over the sake of a TV because that's utterly ridiculous. But I don't know. I'm not sure it makes much difference if you're buying something on Amazon, if you're buying it for full price or Black Friday.
I will tell you what, though. I saw the most ridiculous thing on a Black Friday sale. It was like, Black Friday sale, up to 70% off. Wow, wow. Poof, poof, poof. And then I looked, and this face wash was $17.98 instead of $17.99. I was like, bargain.
I love it when they do that though, when you just you're like, it's on sale, we've knocked off the bare minimum.
I mean, you save a penny.
Helps.
Yeah.
But there are some websites that you can search for like by percentage of saving.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And on those, I'm always like, I want to see your most expensive thing taken as low as possible. I'm not gonna buy it. I want to see that because like it is deep within me to buy things in sales.
Oh my god.
Action. Yes.
Your
like,
little bargain eyes, yeah.
I can probably name on one hand the things that I've bought full price in the last 2 years. Like excluding food, obviously. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I could get yellow stickered food all the time,
I love a whoop.
See, I come from a long line of hagglers.
Yeah.
Because my mum loves a car boot sale, and if somebody in a car boot says to my mum, "This is £1," my mum goes, "Will you take 50p for it?" My stepdad, I found this out a few months ago, and I was genuinely horrified. He haggled in a charity shop. I was like, a charity shop, and he went, "Well, if you don't ask, you never know." I'm like, it goes to a good cause. He's like, well, you know, and he literally went, "Oh, will you take so much for it?" I was like, why you do it? And my family love to haggle. My mother loves a bargain. Like when we were kids growing up, and you know, all the people in school were wearing super dry and like bench and all of this, my mother was like, okay, and she'd go to the car boot at 6 a.m. or like 5:30 when everyone was setting up, and my mother would be like scurrying around all of the stalls looking because she could get a super dry t-shirt for £2. And my mother was like, great, wash that, dry that, stick it on him, and he can go to school and nobody will know the difference. So I've sort of got it ingrained in me to love a sale. And this year I was looking, and I was the same as you, Rach, like looking at real expensive things. Like I was looking at a deep fat fryer that was like 60% off. I don't need a deep fat fryer, but I'll tell you what, I was tempted.
Well, I think like I mean, Sarah, we're very similar in a lot of worrying ways anyway. But one of the things that we both love is a sale and makeup.
Oh my God, yes.
And so as soon as you hear either of those words, we're both like, yes, thank you. And yeah, I think of course, like, I've bought things in Black Friday sales previously. Like, of course I have. This year a lot less because I don't have the money to, it's been a tricky year. It is what it is. But I do think that like you do get like a buzz from it. Like it is like almost like an adrenaline sport.
Yeah,
it's endorphin, and that's why big companies do sales, because you love it, and so you're like, I don't need it, but it's cheap, so I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think that's why a lot of people are, I don't know if it's quite an addiction, but like compulsively buy stuff, or are always buying stuff, or what do they do in their spare time? They go shopping, because it's that thing of, there is a buzz from going, oh, I got a really good deal, or I got a bargain, or I got this first before anyone else, or whatever it is.
Well, it's like, I wish I was organised enough to do this, but it's like people who in the New Year sales go and get their shopping for next Christmas in the New Year sale. I'm kind of, by that point, I'm like, I'm so done with shopping. I'm so done with even thinking about gifts and things like that. But the people who are dedicated to go to those sales and go, right, my Christmas shopping for next year is pretty much sorted from this sale, I think that, I mean, I take my hat off to them, because I just can't be asked by the time that day comes. Like, no.
You see, as someone whose birthday is the 14th of January, I always get things that are in the Christmas sale, the Boxing Day sales for my birthday.
January 3rd. I'm January 3rd over here. So
ladies and gentlemen, so I hope that you've put those dates in your diary, because they said them very obviously. Write down, take note.
But like, one of my mates, Emily, I will never forget, one Christmas, like, we were like, oh, we'll meet up like a few days, like, it was actually like a week before my birthday, something like that. And she literally just put me in Boots and went, it's 3 for 2 and everything's cheap. Go mad.
Aww.
Do you know what I mean? So like, I always get like sales stuff for my birthday, which is great, because it either means that people have gone, I'm going to spend X amount, and therefore I get more.
Yeah.
Or they go, well, this was worth this amount, and I've actually only spent like a $5, so bam. January's a difficult month anyway.
Yeah, I do love a sale, but again, it's really, I'm really glad, like Jess said, that Black Friday sales are not in actual shops anymore, because I only went to one once, and it was in Argos.
Oh, God.
And the products aren't even like on display, and there was a full-on punch-up going in the like cinema for the poor bit where you sit and watch for your numbers. Like, that's like, well, it is, isn't it? It's like where poor people sit and just for something to do. That's me anyway. And you just sit there and watch. But there was a whole punch-up happening, and the products weren't even on the shelves. So for me, I was like, I'm never doing that again.
No.
But the problem again is, then he moves online, suddenly website traffic, and you're sat watching a buffering logo just go round. It's not a logo, is it? Anyway, it's an icon, but it just goes round and round, and you end up, and I'm at a different cinema for the poor, because I'm not even going to spend money on those things anyway.
Is it just me? And this might be the old crutchy old lady in me, but like, that goes, well, we didn't have Black Friday in my day, therefore why should we partake in this stupid American tradition? Even though you'd save some money before Christmas. It works out well. I don't care where it started, but part of me is like, this never used to be a thing.
They give it like 101 different names. Like, there's Black Friday and Cyber Monday and like all these different things. It's like, just say you're having a sale and be done with it.
I know.
I will say on the shouting out local businesses front that 90% of my furniture has come from Dove House Hospice charity shop.
Yeah.
And if I was skinnier, 90% of my clothes would come from there as well. I'm
Oh.
a big charity shop fan, but they have the best like organized shops, and they have the vintage special shop, and I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Also, I've done a lot of charity shopping in my time. If you're ever in a posh city or a posh part of a town, go to their charity shops. They've got the best stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the best advice. Like, I once got a pair of like £100 straighteners for £3.50. Because when you go charity shop shopping in Ilkley, where all the rich people live, they throw out all sorts.
Yeah, I would say if you're local to Hull, go and do your charity shop look around in Beverley.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's the thing. People have a bit more money, so next thing you know, you've got like real expensive stuff for like £5.
Yeah.
And it's £5 that's not going to whoever made the product and mistreated their workers. It's going to a charity. So winner.
Yeah.
Could we maybe ask if people are watching to comment in the comments there, like favourite independent businesses or local businesses? Because I've still got a little bit of Christmas shopping to do, and it'd be really nice if we could share.
So I was going to say, like, Ophelia, have we all seen what's going on there?
Oh my God, yes, on
It's
Humber Street. They
beautiful.
only
Yeah,
opened
so it's all like
recently.
dried flowers,
And
like
teas.
dried flower bouquets.
No, I've not heard about this.
Beautiful. Just
Was it-
started an online thing. 10 out of 10.
It was a business that they dreamt up during lockdown, and then they opened after lockdown finished, and then we're back in lockdown.
Oh,
They do dried flowers and tea,
Oh,
and they do
It's my
like
dream.
bundles and stuff like that. It's super
that sounds
cute.
lovely.
Yeah, and I believe that their dry flower bouquets will last up to 3 to 5 years if looked after correctly, and they'll tell you how to look after them, so that it's really like worth it as well. You're
Yeah.
really investing your money, so definitely check them out.
Go buy your bread at Flower and Feast.
oh,
Yes,
I
go
love them.
buy all baked goods at Flower and Feast.
Oh my God. Right. I
Everything
always
is
say
Flower and
this. You're allowed to be talented, nice, attractive.
Oh,
You can pick two. Those two have all three of them, and it's not fair.
No, it's honestly, it's a disgrace.
and they're really good with
they're just so lovely.
Falling out with them, how dare they?
I'm
I
a
know.
big fan.
They're a dream. Tessie's in 19.4 on
Yep.
Humber Street.
anything in the arcade, in Hepworth's arcade.
Oh my God, yes.
All of those. You could happily go for like an afternoon shop. Just gradually, it's like you could walk through the arcade in 30 seconds, but you could happily spend an entire afternoon in the shops there.
See, I love Form, like the independent art
Oh,
place.
yeah.
I went on their website and I did like if I just bought one of every piece of art that I like, what would happen? And it came out to like £300. And
Some
this,
people would pay for one piece of art.
and I'd like you all to know now that this is my public appeal for an art sugar daddy. Please.
Just tell your friends as it's Christmas and your birthday coming up.
Yeah.
What you like.
I've got a very active Pinterest. Thank you.
Oh, we've had Bed on Newland Ave is a very
Yes, Bed.
local, isn't it? That's great. Etsy's great for local small businesses if you're looking for something specific.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Etsy. I'm part of a Secret Santa that was intended to be local businesses, and then when we went into lockdown, it's local or independent via Etsy, just because it's a bit more difficult to find things under a budget. And like, I mean, I love Etsy at the best of times, but like looking around with like a price limit and like someone specific in mind, it's really exciting to see like all the different like people being so creative and people who have got such skills.
Yeah.
And to be able to find, I think the great thing about Etsy is like bringing them all together, because you'd never be able to look through that many independent sellers sites, and then to be able to find someone making badges and someone sewing embroidery and someone putting lettering on mugs, all in the same place is really, really brilliant resource. I love it.
I've sort of enjoyed our Secret Santa this year. So Rich set up a Secret Santa for the Roaring Girls, which the specification was to be creative and crafty, which I am neither of those things. So the person that I've got, I really do pity, because it's going to be a really shock. Did you see the pom-pom puppies that I made last year out of my Secret Santa gift?
Yes, it was so cute.
I mean, they're meant to be really pretty and really cute and like really easy, and I managed to mess them up. So my Secret Santa in advance, I'd like to apologise. But that's actually been a really fun challenge, because you don't just go, oh, it's a £10 limit, I'll go to Boots and get something. Like, it's actually been quite nice to have to really think about it and do something creative that you've got to put a bit of love into, which it's been fun, but not easy for someone like me who isn't crafty or creative.
And also I think like handmade presents, or like things that you've put a lot of love and thought into, are often so much nicer. And definitely. Like, obviously, I mean, a present is a present, like whatever your budget is, whatever you can afford, people are grateful that you've got them something. But I know, like, one year I was on the bones of my arse and I couldn't afford a lot of things for Christmas, and I ended up making my mum, and like, this is not a unique idea, it's something I saw online, but I made her like this jar thing, and I designed all the label, and inside I just wrote down loads of memories, like things to make her laugh. And my mum still uses it now. She'll occasionally go in there and pull one out and read it and just laugh. And it was just a jar of cheerful things that I knew would make her laugh. And so it doesn't have to be expensive or pricey to make things. And I think that often is such a lovely idea.
When I was a teenager, I had like I had a couple of like birthdays where like the rule was like, don't spend money, make something, find something, or give me something you no longer want. Yeah. And actually it means you end up with like a really eclectic bunch of stuff, or like stuff that's actually got some meaning in, because even if it's just, oh, I found this and I thought you'd like it, and most of the time I go, yeah, I do like it, it's really cute, and it was free, it was just it was a nice looking shell. Or
I was just gonna say, Rosie is just put in the comments, we do Secret Santa, it has to be made out of household items.
I love that.
Great. That's
really
big
nice.
fan of that.
Emily, I completely agree with Emily. Put best local businesses are brewing and distillery companies. Shout out to Atom.
Yes, Atom. Big fans of Atom.
Yeah.
For anyone listening to the podcast and not watching the live stream, it should be noted that Jess Morley is wearing all things from local businesses, a hat, a hoodie, the earrings. In the background, she's got merch from local theatre companies. She is product placement up the wazoo. Oh, and a cup. Oh, Atom.
Oh, wow.
Speaking of which, if you have a fierce, fun feminist in your life that you would like to cheer up this Christmas, then please visit www.theroaringgirls.co.uk/shop.
That was smooth as anything.
Yeah, we've got t-shirts if you want them.
We got bags and badges.
But I should have worn that under my hoodie.
Mate, what are you doing?
You know what? You're fired.
At any one given time, I'm usually wearing something that is representative of Hull in some way. I must have 20 t-shirts that have something to do with Hull, at least.
I mean, that's classic Jess.
That's my brand. That is pretty much my brand.
One of my favourite memories of you, Jess, is being in Edinburgh where you were drunk as a skunk and having to gently pick you up like a baby and just try to carry you towards a taxi because you just kept shouting in the courtyard, "I'm from Hull, me! I'm from Hull!" And I was like, Jess, the taxi's here, darling. I know you're from Hull. Yes, you are. You are from Hull, aren't you? I was like, Jess.
I genuinely don't remember that.
I'm not surprised you were hammered.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
But it was excellent. So it doesn't surprise me that you are just covered in local business stuff from Hull right now.
Oh, I'm kind of ashamed, but also kind of proud of myself.
No, I'm so proud that that's the thing you went to when drunk. Not anything aggressive, just Hull, just proud.
It makes me so happy when someone hears my voice, my accent, and goes, "Oh my God, are you from Hull?" I'm like, yes, let's be friends.
Mind you, see, I get a different reaction. I tend to get the, "You're not from round here, are you?" Like, or today, when I was in the butcher's, I bought some lovely pork and leek sausages, and he went, "I thought you'd go for those ones," and I was like, "Lol, sir," and then sort of.
At least you didn't get. I did workshops in primary school once, and a kid came up to me and was like, "We preferred the other woman who did it," and I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, is there something she did that I could do better? You know, something she did you really liked, something I did you really hated? Like, I'm here for the next 2 weeks, so you know, I'm trying to cater it to what you want." So I tried to have the conversation with her, and I didn't do anything she didn't like, and the other woman didn't do anything she preferred. I was like, "Well, what's the problem? Is there something I can do?" And she was like, "You just sound weird."
Oh.
She was like, "I don't like it because your voice is funny." And I was like, there's really nothing I can do about that, hun, because I think it's much weirder if I put on a bad Hull accent and then your teacher comes in
and then you've got to carry it on.
Oh no, we're going to play a game. No, let's not do that.
I would punch you so hard if you did that. I would headbutt you.
So I was like, I mean, it's good to know that it wasn't, you know, my workshop skills that were in question, but I was a bit like, thanks, hun. This is just my voice.
Oh, little cuties.
Bless them.
Rachel, have you got changed?
I've taken my cardigan off.
Oh, I thought you'd done like a wardrobe change.
Just like, it's the final one, so I've decided to do a full wardrobe. Just me
Stands up
in
and
a black sequin dress, like
she does
I'm
a quick
here.
change, yeah.
Actually, can we just quickly say, talking of sequins, please check out Isolated Heroes, because if you love sequins,
Who are they?
They're
they
amazing.
are a Glaswegian-based all-female creative studio who make the greatest things.
I will say it is an investment to buy one of their pieces of clothing unless you manage to catch it in a sale or at a good time.
I wouldn't say it's an investment, like, considering it's not like a Hermes bag that's like $2,500. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. But the one of the jackets that I've seen that I'm in love with and I would love and I can't wait to eventually one day buy is about £200. So, but they do have a lower range of lots of cool things. They have some amazing face masks, like really reasonably priced, and they make it out of they're making it out of scrap fabric that they've just made. Like, they've made these amazing dresses and these gorgeous jackets, and they just went, what are we going to do with this leftover material? We'll make some face masks. So get a glam face mask from Isolated Heroes.
I really want a sparkly face mask.
Honestly.
Amazing.
Rosie, what was it called?
Isolated Heroes. I will apply to you now, my love.
Whilst we're shouting out companies that aren't local but are run by awesome ladies, my sister has recently started a company. It's called Rachel Perry Costume, rachelperrycostume.co.uk. She makes dance wear and gymnastics wear, but also if you just want a pair of leggings in some funky fabric, custom made, supporting independent owner of a business, using her costume making skills for good, and they're hella cute and hella comfy.
They are,
and I am biased, but massive recommendations if you're looking for active wear.
I love your pair, Lizzie. They are gorgeous.
I know.
Really,
I love your pair as well. Rachel, I'm definitely going to message you soon. Like, as soon as I have a bit of money, like in a few weeks, I'm gonna message you. I need some leggings. Like, when I saw yours, Lizzie, I was like, oh my God, where are they from? And you were like, my sister made them. And to have that talent.
I know, it's upsetting, isn't it?
It's disgusting.
Have you seen that quote where it's like, every time you buy from an independent seller, they do a happy little dance? That's what I imagine. Like, I really do imagine them every sale just being like, yeah.
I'm going to do a quick shout out for my auntie who runs a Facebook page called Lilac Heart Designs. And she does like Scrabble like family names, and will make like personalized anti-back bottles and like personalized. She does like movie night treat boxes with like, so you can put half popcorn and like some sweets and like drinks and whatever. And Knitted by JW, which is on Instagram, is a stage manager from Hull called Jane, who is knitting dog scarves.
I need one. I don't think Ronnie would wear one, but I will buy one.
They're so cute. I'm obsessed.
I'm really glad that this started as like a let's talk about consumerism and the evils of stuff, and has just turned into 20 minutes of us listing companies that we like.
Yeah, as it should be. Like, There's a lot of things to get like ravaged about with Black Friday, and there's some definite dark sides, but actually like Hull is a thriving hotspot for kind of creative and entrepreneurial people. Let's celebrate that.
Big up, Hull.
Let's like in the comments, even after this has stopped, like if anyone listens to the podcast, like if we come to these comments, because like I say, I'm still looking for Christmas presents, so people could type in their favorite independent,
or if you are an independent business and we've not mentioned you, give us a tweet. We'll shout about you. We'll do some retweeting.
That'd be lovely.
KCOM are doing a online Christmas craft fair. East Riding Theatre are doing various different local businesses over the next few weeks. Obviously Trinity Market is always a godsend.
If you follow Friends on Every Street on Instagram, Ollie's always plugging local businesses. I've found loads of amazing little gems in Hull just through following him, so he's a really good guy to follow as well.
I honestly think Friends on Every Street might actually be angels.
Oh, he's amazing.
Like they're the best people.
Big fangirl.
But yeah, again, charity shops once they're allowed to open again. Like Dove House Hospice has done loads. Winner, the Preston Roads Women's Centre, they have a wonderful one as well. Like it's not just like your usual like Bernardo's, Help the Aged. Like we have some Hull specific ones, so you know that your money's going directly back into the local community, which is again how to get that feel good feeling.
Happy Newspaper, that's not local, but Sarah got me onto them. They're a great gift idea. You can get a subscription for someone, which I did last year, and it's such a lovely present.
Yes.
Happy Newspaper, and this time, what the world that we're living in right now, I think the more issues of that we can get into the world, the better.
Oh God,
definitely.
God, yeah. And of course, like I've said before, Form on Humber Street, they've got a website. You can support various different artists. It's not just artwork they do like Christmas cards and stationery and all sorts. We can't go out for meals right now, but buy like vouchers for various different restaurants.
Also, Sunday dinner, handheld home road. They do Sunday dinner on a Sunday, absolutely beautiful. Dancing Goat coffee shop are opening for takeouts on a Sunday. Obviously Revival coffee shop, Patty Shack. Like there's so many like local small businesses in Hull that are doing delivery and takeout as well. So go through them rather than going to McDonald's or Pizza Hut or whatever. Lots of really yummy food.
Yeah, definitely. Support local.
God, we could keep going for hours, couldn't we?
I know. We've already been going for an hour, and I think that we should let people have their Saturday nights.
I think just as a finish, then, just to bring it back to something slightly different. I think also worth saying that there's lots of Christmas shows being offered by theatre companies and theatre buildings, and I know that with changes to sort of lockdown and tier systems, a lot of people are having to adapt. And if you are able to support a local panto that's gone online, or I know Hull Trucker are shifting their Christmas offering to something digital, it really helps keep the arts afloat, and it brings you some Christmas joy. So look out for local things rather than just finding some Christmas films on the telly, because I think that's really important to keep those going and keep supporting them.
And we're doing our Christmas
free as well. Like quite a few of them are free. I think Middle Child's and Hull New Theatre's shows are free streamed online. So like there's and then Roaring Girls Christmas Party. There's going to be lots of festive stuff.
Exactly. So even if you can't get out this Christmas, at least you can bring a little bit of joy through your monitor.
Indeed.
And I think that's where we're going to leave it today, ladies. Thank you once again. It's been an absolute joy talking about all things shop local. This was our last lockdown podcast for now.
Until the next time.
We'll wait for lockdown 0.3. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Take care. Bye, everyone.
Bye.